Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. Today we are coming back with another 10 things video.
Oh, we haven't done one in a while.
No, not since queries. And this one's a bit outside of queries. It's going to be fun.
Good.
We're going to do 10 things that make a good client, which you probably know by the title. That's probably why you clicked this video.
Maybe.
But here we are, anyway.
Which is based on a blog post.
It was based on a blog post from, I think, May.
Ripped off completely from a blog post.
Yep, so I'm just stealing your ideas at this point.
Go for it.
Well, we get the question a lot about what makes a good client. And sometimes it's hard to answer without really thinking about it and like...
Yeah, because I don't think it's just cut and dry.
And every agent-client relationship is completely different.
Yeah.
But you have managed to give us 10 things that you believe make a good client.
10 brilliant things.
Okay, settle down. That you think make a good client, and I'm willing to agree to them. So let's just go through them before you start complimenting yourself anymore. Number 1, a good client, or a great, as you put it, a great author partner believes in the power of communication and has a willingness to discuss questions and concerns as they arise.
Yeah.
Super important.
Super important, and I think the key, actually, of this is great author partner.
Yes.
Agents and authors are partners, and that's really important to constantly be reminding yourself throughout this whole process. And communication is key to any good partnership, which means letting your agent know if you're upset about something.
And I think the most important part of this is as they arise.
Yeah.
Because nobody's good when they are a powder keg about to explode.
Yeah.
So you have to, as things happen, talk them over. Keeping them bottled up and waiting until they all explode and you're mad usually results in a parting of ways.
Well, I was going to say, it's not just about the communication about your relationship. It's also concerns or even things that are going well with your publisher. You know, communicating about, hey, they just sent me the cover or the title. What do you think? Keeping your agent in the loop on those things is good communication. It's communicating about life events.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you know...
I'm getting married next month.
Right, yeah. I'm getting married next month. I'm going to miss my deadline, or I'm going to need more time, or, you know, I'm struggling with this. Letting your agent know about all of these things when they're happening makes your life easier, which is really what our job is.
Yeah.
So keeping that line open and trusting your agent and knowing it's okay to fall apart or let your agent know when things are falling apart is part of this. Yes,
communication is something that every author looks for in an agent. Good communication.
Yeah.
And it's the same for us. We need to be, it's give and take. It's not 100% us communicating to you. You have to communicate back with us.
Yeah. And we're not mind readers, and you aren't either. So we all have to keep that in mind as we're going.
Yes. So it leads us to number 2, which is an open mind to edits, changes, and new ideas.
Oh, yes.
This is broad because it's not just about your book. It's also about your career.
Very much so.
So when you send us a book, we're obviously going to have edits and thoughts and ideas, and being open-minded to those is super important.
Yeah.
But also being open-minded to what we think is the best next step for you is very important. If that means maybe holding on to your middle grade and writing another YA for now.
Yes.
Or, of course, it's different for every author. Don't take that as any market advice. But it's important to be understanding of where your agent's coming from and what they're thinking and what their strategy is. Even if you have your own, having that conversation and developing it together is important. It
doesn't mean doing what your agent tells you to do. It should never be that, because it should be, you know, like I said earlier, it should be a partnership. You should be working together on this. But it's also understanding that your agent comes to this role as your business partner with a certain knowledge and understanding of things that you don't necessarily have and that you're asking your agent for. So you may be hearing all sorts of things on Twitter about the market, but you're hearing it on Twitter. We are living it firsthand. So, you know, it's being open-minded when you're hearing on Twitter that, you know, rabid pumpkins are the hot next thing and everybody should be writing a book on rabid pumpkins. And you're going to call me and I'm like, oh no, rabid pumpkins are over. Like, I just spoke with editors.
I hope they're never a thing.
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know where that.
But so it's understanding and being open-minded to that things, and its titles and its cover and its revisions. And the more willing you are to listen to other people and take all of this into consideration, the more successful you're going to be.
Yes. So number 3 is looking for a career and willing to work for it, which includes promotion, editing, idea and market shifts, which we kind of just talked about.
Yes.
So this kind of goes into number 2, but basically means that we're looking for someone who wants a career out of this and isn't just sort of those, let's get this book on the shelves and then I never have to do anything for it again.
Right.
Because that's not ideal for us. It's not a long-lasting partnership that's beneficial to both of us in the long run.
Yeah. We are in this as agents because we want a career. We want to make money. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
This is a job. We are making money. We happen to love our jobs, which we know is fantastic, but we aren't looking for authors who
want this as a hobby.
Exactly, or just want to write the one book, or just, want to be famous. We are looking for people who want to have a career and have a job and a business partner.
Yes.
So we are looking for somebody who's willing to go all in and learn what it takes to run your business, because that's what you're doing.
But let's just clarify that not everybody has to have more than one book in them, and we understand that, and
Correct.
we completely get that every author is different, but we are looking for someone who's willing to make their name.
Well, and you might not have more than one book, but your career might also be really heavily weighted towards that one book. We see that especially with nonfiction. But that means that you're running a business, which means you're marketing and you're promoting and you're revising and you're editing and you're doing all of those things that you would do as a small business owner.
Yes. So number 4 kind of goes back to the communication thing, that the point that you brought up, and it's understanding.
Yeah.
So if we are having some timeline issues or anything like that, and we're communicating that with you, being understanding is, we hope that every author can be understanding about it.
We're human.
So
are you.
Yes. Of course, that's not to say if we're consistently falling behind or failing on our duties that you should understand that. But, that give and take and that logical and reasonable understanding. Yeah. We hope that every author could have that.
Yeah. And you would hope that your agent will have that.
For you, yes, of course. So number 5 is that you are punctual, you meet deadlines and commitments with the understanding that life and extensions happen. So this is sort of rehashing what we just said.
Right, but deadlines are important. So when you sign a contract and you set a deadline, everything else is based on that. Your pub date is based on that. The design of your cover is based on that. The cover copy, your payments, everything is based on that deadline. And if you consistently don't take that seriously, then it is going to consistently hurt your career and therefore, of course, your agents. And we spend a lot of time scrambling. Now things happen. Weddings happen. Holidays happen. Deaths happen. Sickness happens. Life happens. And your agent is there to support you through all of that, and that includes extensions. But extensions are a lot easier to get if extensions are rare and a novelty and not a consistent pattern with somebody. Because if you're consistently not reaching your deadlines, it, I think, gives the impression to publishers and everybody else that you're not that serious. And if you're not going to be that serious, then they might not want to be that serious.
Yes, and it does show a lack of, number 6, determination.
Yeah, this isn't an easy business. And, you can't come in here, now that I have an agent, it's easy, I don't really have to work that hard. You really need to be determined to succeed. And that, I always say there is no straight line in this business. It's more like a swirly, giggly, up and down, all over the place line.
Yes.
And you are going to have ups and downs throughout your career. You're going to get an agent and not get a book deal. You're finally going to get a book deal and you're not going to get a next one, or you're going to get 25 books and then all of a sudden you can't sell 26. So being determined to keep going, no matter how bleak it feels, is important. So that determination can go a long way.
Yes, and a great author partner should have, number 7, a desire to learn.
Yes.
We've talked about this in past videos, but the only way to make a sustainable career is to keep learning and acquiring all the new knowledge and all the experience and making yourself better for it.
Yeah, so that means every time you get a revision on every book, you're learning something new about your writing,
the market.
You're ready to learn, at one point it was ebooks or different editing styles. When I started in this business, everything was done on paper. And then suddenly authors and editors and everybody else had to learn how to edit online. We had to go from maybe Microsoft Word to Google, though I don't love Google Docs. There are all these...
Google doesn't see
you had to learn how to, manage a website. You have to learn social media. You have to learn how to promote. And having a client who has that desire to learn is wonderful. Also learn from your agent. Call and ask questions and, how does this work? What is the process? All of that helps build a stronger business.
And that's the biggest part of our job. We learn from every deal we make, every contract we negotiate, every book you send us. We learn how to be a better editor for you, a better advocate for you. So we can only ask that you're doing the same.
Yep, exactly.
Number 8, which kind of goes back to number 6, being determined. We want someone who is unrelenting and is not going to give up.
Yeah.
If you get one pass and you're like, this is it, I'm never going to make it.
Yeah.
That's not what we're looking for.
Yeah, or you get one really tough revision. Because if you get a tough revision from your agent, I get how hard that is. But you're going to get tough revisions from your editors.
Especially when you just signed on and this agent is on the phone loving your book, and then you get this letter and like, I thought you loved it. But learning from that and being determined to make it a better book and just making sure that you're putting in the work to do it.
Yes.
It's something that.
Yeah, and like I said, this isn't an easy business. It's tough. And you're going to have points where you're really just going to feel like it's too hard. And being willing to dig back in there and know that this is what you want makes a huge difference.
Yes. And that is also going to... So we're going to skip 9 and come back to it. Because I think that goes to number 10. We want someone who's optimistic.
I'm an optimist. And so people who are extreme pessimists...
It's hard.
It's really hard. Well, we're both optimists, and that's really hard for us. I mean, I'm sure there are agents who are more pessimistic and might be better for you, but for me, I need somebody who sees the glass half full, or somebody recently says.
Who's excited and brings that to every project that they're working on. It's really hard to have your own excitement and feel confident about a project if the creator of that project is so down in the dumps and not confident about it.
And you will be. You will be. There will be times when you are down in the dumps, and that is okay. But it's different than sending out a book and saying, well, I don't think this is any good. It's not going to sell.
Or every pass you get, like, this book is never going to sell. That's exhausting for us. It makes us not even want to, like, continue. And it won't.
I look at every pitch I make on a book as a new opportunity, and I'm like, every time I pitch it, which maybe...
This is the one.
This is it. This is going to sell. This is the one.
Great fit for this book.
For me, an optimistic client is huge, and it doesn't mean I can't work with pessimists, but optimism is really a big deal for me.
Yes. And so now going back to number 9, probably most especially for us, who want a client with a good sense of humor? Is that too much to ask? Of course, not everyone is a regular old stand-up comedian, but someone who there's some levity.
We are, so we can't always.
But somebody that brings levity to the situation, like when you get a pass and it's not the worst thing in the world, and you can sort of poke fun at yourself. It's always fun.
Or at the editor who made the pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to laugh, and life shouldn't be that hard, and we know there are tough moments, but being able to laugh at us, at yourself.
Yeah, I just signed a client, and the email accepting said she's more excited than Jessie Spano on caffeine pills, which I thought it was so funny.
There are so many people Googling that right now.
Oh, Saved by the Bell. Everybody has to know the Saved by the Bell scene.
They should. I do.
Yes. Okay. Good.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's fun. It makes you excited to want to work with the person and see their next project, whether they're writing funny or they're writing super dark books. But so those are our 10 things.
Yep.
I think we went through them in enough detail.
I think so.
If you have any questions, or if you have anything that you think would make a great author partner, put it down below in the comments, and maybe we'll add them to our list.
And keep in mind that, if you don't have a sense of humor, it's okay.
Yes.
We can still work together and have a great relationship.
And this isn't a checklist. You have to have all 10. And you don't have to have all 10 of these at the exact same time at all times.
And you don't even have to think we're funny.
Yeah, you don't. We do. No, but this isn't a checklist that a must-have. It's just things that make that author-agent relationship easier on all of us and makes it more successful.
Yep.
So, good luck.